A lot of fans, including myself, were really disappointed with the death that we had for Admiral Ackbar. Admiral Ackbar was a very beloved character from the original trilogy. He came in Episode 6, he gave the iconic line of "It's a trap," and instantly he became an iconic Star Wars character. People liked Admiral Ackbar. I mean, there's really nothing to not like. He was a Mon Calamari, and that really kind of brought attention to that species and, kind of just it spurred a lot of interest in them. And you can see that in Rogue One when they brought, what is his name, Admiral Radis or something like that. They brought him into Rogue One, and it's kind of like, for me, a nod to the original trilogy and Admiral Ackbar himself. So a lot of people were disappointed with the death of Admiral Ackbar in The Last Jedi, and it's now gotten to the point where the Huffington Post interviewed Bob Dusquet. He's the Last Jedi editor for the movie, and they interview him about it and ask him about Admiral Ackbar's death, and he said that is how it was designed. He said, "It's interesting that you mention it, because I watched the film last night and I thought, maybe it's too incidental. It's very funny. It's a very funny thing about that, because what happens, I don't typically watch movies that I work on much afterwards because you're so familiar with it. But this movie I've seen now a couple times with an audience, and it occurred to me last night that what does happen when I watch movies is I generally find things that are like, I wonder if I should do that differently," which is some really horrible form of personal criticism, because there's really nothing to be done. He said that's how it was designed, that's how it was intended, but it's slightly incidental, isn't it? And it's irritating that he says that, because it's like, it's incidental. It's like, yeah, but I mean, dude, this was a beloved character. It's a fan favorite character. People like Admiral Ackbar. Believe me, I truly don't know why. We don't have too many emotional ties to him, but we like him as a character. So when we see him die in a very uneventful way, and something that you don't really connect with, you're just kind of like, oh, is he gone? It's hurtful. Even in the book, the Star Wars Legends book for the Expanded Universe, The Unifying Force, they had like a very big memorial service for Admiral Ackbar's death when he died in the EU. So it's just kind of irritating that he's just like, it's incidental, isn't it? It's just, he says that he doesn't watch his movies afterwards, and I'm like, you know what, I understand that. Even Lucas himself didn't do that. A lot of directors don't like watching their own movies, because he's got a point. You work on it so much. However, don't you think someone should have watched it and, no one sat there and went, hey, maybe we should, switch up Admiral Ackbar's death, because it's kind of depressing that he just went off and, no one's mentioned of him. And it's also weird that, they talk about working on the editing so much, and he doesn't want to watch his movies again. But there were some editing mistakes in this movie itself, especially that one scene where Finn is trying to run away, and Rose catches him, and his bag was like on the ground, and the next thing you know, it's in the pod, the escape pod. So it's small stuff like that where it's like, no one really went back and watched this, what, $250 million budget film that is, it's Star Wars. So it's just really kind of confusing and annoying that it's almost like a lack of creativity and a lack of thought went into this movie in terms of stuff like this, where Ackbar's death, where it's like, no one thought, hey, this might make the fans mad, and they might be a little upset about this. That's just me. I personally enjoyed Admiral Ackbar. I thought he's always been an interesting character. He's always been kind of like that, just something to take your creativity out, where you're watching, it's nothing but humans having their own personal struggles, and so you see this big fish Mon Calamari guy kind of being there and helping out. Same with that Neon Nub dude. He looks like a short stack of pancakes, but he's funny, and he's just there, and he kind of takes your mind off, and he really expands the creativity that goes into the Star Wars universe and how many different species are fighting. And so the fact that Admiral Ackbar just kind of died out and that was it, it's like, oh well, there goes a fan favorite. But, that's just me. Comment your thoughts below. Are you disappointed with Admiral Ackbar's death? Are you disappointed with the way The Last Jedi's editor said that it's just kind of incidental and they didn't really put much thought into it? But, take it as you will, I guess. So comment your thoughts below. What do you think about all this? I'm Star Wars Only. I'll see you all next time.